All right, guys. Hopefully everyone can see that full screen on your side of things here. It should say Innovate University Training session here for our LintAlert Pro today. In an effort of staying within our own timelines for the morning, I'll get things started on our end here. As a personal introduction, my name is Cliff Budnick. I've been with Innovate Technologies now for about 8 years, and I've been a very close part of the LintAlert from past, present, and obviously here we are talking about the LintAlert of the future. So really excited to kind of give you guys some insight as to what we've been up to on our end, bringing this product up to today's modern technology, introducing some Wi-Fi technology out there. And we'll go through a good chunk of materials really looking into how this product can affect your service company. As an overview for today, guys, we'll kind of get an understanding of what's actually in the box, what's the value there, why is there an important feature to have every customer of yours have a laundry room safety device that protects both dryer fires and the possibility of washing machine floods. So we'll take a look at the context of that box. It's a very simplistic device and even easier to install, so we'll go through the installation process, and we'll kind of break that down into two segments as well. The hardware itself, meaning this just the device, the widget, the LintAlert, how to connect it. We'll go see how to connect that and how to calibrate it as well. And then entering into the new technology, we'll go through the Wi-Fi connectivity process. No different than your Amazon Alexas or your Google Homes. It's that same process, but it's important to make sure that we go through that. Last but not least, we're all spending some time this morning, investing our times this morning to learn about this product, and we want to make it profitable for you. So we will go through a lot of the proven sales techniques that we've already heard and that I've experienced myself in the field as well. If you are on the call already, I'd ask that you guys please mute your own phones so we can be as clear on this call as possible. Any questions you have, use the chat feature, and then afterwards we'll go back and open that up to more of an open forum verbal Q&A on the product and its processes and what we can do to support your companies in this as well. So kind of moving on forward here, with the LintAlert being on the market for the last 7 years, we've learned so much. And unfortunately, the dryer fire statistics in that same period of time continues to be staggering. There are well over 15,000 reported dryer fires, and that's the catchword there, reported. We know that there's a lot more, so the vast majority of the folks on today's call, you've been behind these dryers and you see the charred black lint. You see the lint accumulation is tremendous. Your customers might have experienced a smell coming from their laundry room or really, really hot clothes. These are all very key indicators that if a dryer fire didn't already happen, it was right there at the cusp of about to start. And they are costly, and they're very damaging. You know, there are deaths, there's hundreds and hundreds of injuries, millions of dollars in damage. And the crazy thing here, guys, is that with respect to dryer fires, failure to clean is the actual leading cause here. And that's where the magic of your services come in, and that's also where the magic of a LintAlert can come in to make sure that you're automatically alerted in real time when your services are needed. Now, as we reintroduced this product internally, we said, hey, what's going on in the laundry room? What do customers really resonate with, and how can we make an impact for them? Well, dryer fires does require an okay amount of education. We are going to walk them through that process and have them understand added cycle times or longer cycle times and what that means. Not sure who just chimed in, but if you can mute yourself, that would be terrific. Hopping back, though, right next to the dryer is the washing machine, and washing machine floods are far more top of mind, very common for customers out there. And we realize that if we're offering a Wi-Fi, a connected product in the laundry room, let's make it pack a punch. Let's give them the 2-for-1 and actually integrate a leak sensor that gets adhered right on the floor by the washing machine. So this one smart home device, our LintAlert, is now offering total laundry room protection from alerting if dryer fire warning indications are taking place. And should even just a drop of liquid come from that washing machine, we're going to be notified of that in real time. And the statistics are staggering. You know, over 600 gallons of water can come pouring out of that laundry room just if a washing machine flood were to take place. So it's great. It's awesome to have one device and be the sole widget on the market that offers that total laundry room protection with the new LintAlert Pro Plus. Inside the box, we have just what you need, just the basics to it. It's 6 foot of clear tubing, a leak sensor that would go on the bottom of the box, and then obviously you have your LintAlert module and a tap fitting, which is the piece that just punctures right into the transition duct connecting that clear tubing to the actual LintAlert. If you guys were familiar with our LintAlert in years past, we've made some really nice improvements on the packaging, kind of getting a little bit less retail. It's no longer on a chip clip. What we did is kind of dug into the consumer psychology and what they feel is part of their home equipment and their home protection package. And we looked at your carbon monoxide detectors and your burglary alarms and your smoke detectors, and that aura kind of created this packaging of more home security equipment, and that's exactly what we went with a bit more modernized look to it as well. So the intent of this packaging is not just to impress you guys, but most importantly, to get it out to your customers and have them excited about it. As far as functionality is concerned, and bear with me one sec, guys, because I still do hear some background. I want to just go ahead and mute the others if you don't mind, so one sec here. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. I blocked out most of that background sound. So as far as functionality again, we are talking about working off of back pressure, or an increase or decrease in back pressure is actually what we're monitoring. The magical part about this device, our LintAlert, is it actually calibrates or learns each individual duct run. So if I've got a 4-foot duct run, yet my friend in the next door community's got a 45-foot duct run with numerous elbows, that's the coolest part, is that we're actually able to calibrate our device and have it learn each individual run and work specifically for that property. And as that pressure increases, these 5 LEDs we have on the device will continue to illuminate over time. Eventually, once enough pressure is there, an audio and visual alarm will sound. That's indicating that a blockage occurred and repeat service is needed. With our new integration of Wi-Fi, that's when actually the technology component kicks in, and the consumers themselves will get an automatic text message or an email or a push notification to their phone indicating that an issue took place, or maybe that their dryer actually is blocked and that they're due for cleaning. On your end, guys, on the service company side, you'll be getting an automatic email that says Cliff Budnick's LintAlert sounded the alarm and is creating a call to action. You're actually going to be getting an email before your customers have a chance to call your competition. So the more LintAlerts we have out there that you're able to install, you're locking in that customer's repeat business and really building on that customer lifetime value as well. We wanted to open up the market opportunities. So in years past with our LintAlert, there were a few scenarios where we can actually not install our LintAlert. And we wanted to make sure that this is as easy as a process as possible and that it worked with as much of the market that's out there as well. So looking at that, there have been some improvements. We are now able to calibrate our device with any length run, short or long. There are no more error codes saying too little or too much pressure. And the other tremendous thing is systems that have booster fans, inline dryer duct booster fans, are now part of our what I'll call open market, or options to sell that customer. We've created a unique bit of code within our device that actually works with the delay features that booster fans work with. So as long as you do identify that a booster fan is in that dryer duct, we can work with that and just give it an extra 90 seconds and you'll be good to go. So that now we can work with booster fans in any short or long run length as well. Having said that, though, guys, there are still 2 scenarios where we do not recommend installing this device. And it's important I go over this just because whenever we go out there and hit the field, I want to know that every unit you are installing is a viable customer for the right location, and that would eliminate any unnecessary callback. That way, when your phone rings or you get the automatic email that LintAlert went off, you're going to the right job for the right reason. So let's talk about those quick scenarios. Shared exhaust systems, like you see in the little icons here, often found in a high-rise condo complex, for example, or dual motor dryers. And the reason, guys, why we don't want to install that LintAlert for those 2 scenarios is actually one and the same. If you recall, when we're calibrating the LintAlert or learning that system, we're identifying one specific amount of pressure, one clean reading, and from that point forward, that's what we're actually monitoring. Well, in the case of maybe a shared exhaust system, if if I had a lint alert in my house and then my next door neighbor in that same condo turned on his or her dryer, we're actually affecting the overall back pressure in that system. And that could take place at any random point during the cycle, and again, creating an unnecessary callback. So in the efforts of eliminating that, we just ask that do not install those devices in shared exhausts or dual motor dryers. With respect to dual motor dryers, there's only two manufacturers that make them, Kenmore and GE, and they literally have that name right there in the model, Kenmore Dual Motor Elite, and GE Dual Motor Systems as well. So right there in the name, you'll see that it's got something duo or dual included in there. Installation process, this is just your basic step-by-steps for connecting the Lint Alert to the dryer vent. It's very simple. No tools required. Should take you about 5 minutes or so to install this product. And all that's really taking is puncturing a hole in the transition duct. We always like to kind of use this 50-yard line example. If you've got 6 foot of transition duct behind the dryer, 50-yard line will be at the 3-foot mark, and that's where you want to have that tap fitting puncture go in. The 6 foot of vinyl tubing that it comes with, if you end up having a little bit of excess in the bottom right image, you see that bending or sagging at the bottom. We do ask that you simply cut the excess foot and a half, or whatever it may be off, and in doing so, you're eliminating the chance for lint to accumulate in that clear plastic, and you're also eliminating the chance for condensation to accumulate in there. And again, that's just an effort to get continuous clean readings with the product and having no issues with functionality. Once everything's hooked up, it's just literally a 7-second process for that Lint Alert to learn each individual duct run. Once the unit's actually been hooked up to the house, now is when we get to enter the fun part of connecting it to the Wi-Fi world. And for us smartphone users out there, I highly recommend today, if possible, guys, go on your phone, and if you have an iTunes, if you have an Apple phone or an Android phone, we have launched our Protected Pro brand. Again, I'll repeat that. You'll see it on the right-hand side, the Protected Pro brand. And that's a whole ecosystem that we're going to continue to build on, starting with the foundation product, our Lint Alert. So I do recommend download that Protected Pro. It's on Google Play. It's on iTunes right now. User-friendly, and it's very targeted to the HVAC service world as well. So once that customer, the process here, once that customer is excited about the Lint Alert, you ask him or her to download their app on their own mobile phone so they can take advantage of some really cool features. That customer then registers or creates their own user account, no different than every other app they've ever gotten. They create their username, they create their password, and enter some basic contact information. After that, we will actually, as Innovate, once you onboard this product, we will be giving you guys, each of your businesses, independent QR codes. And the magic that happens with this QR code is it actually links that specific customer and that Lint Alert that you've just installed, it links them with your business on a back-end login portal. And what's really cool is we can give you guys access to actually have total visibility into every Lint Alert device you've installed. So if you have 2,000 Lint Alerts in your given marketplace, you can go on our portal, log in, and actually see in real time all 2,000 of those Lint Alerts, which ones are due for service, which ones have been 6 months or a year long since you've been there, who's got high pressure, who's got low pressure. You can start to see all these cool bits of information from cycle time and averages, etc., and we'll get into that a little bit later. But nonetheless, that's the QR process, and that QR code is what actually links your device you're installing today with your business's admin portal that we'll provide you as well. And then from there, once we've done that, the process is adding devices, with a Lint Alert being one of those devices. So in the next few slides, guys, I'm actually just going to walk you through some screenshots, and you'll see this take place step by step. Afterwards, we'll actually watch a video to see all this happen as fluid as possible. So again, walking us through those visual step-by-step, screen by screen, once I hit Add Devices on the left-hand side, we've got different devices we can add that are already part of our Protected Pro ecosystem. And this will include water sensors, temperature sensors, combo humidity and temp sensors, and of course on the bottom under Safety, we see the Lint Alert Pro Plus, and we can add a Lint Alert Pro Plus right there. So if I were to click on that device under Safety Lint Alert, it's going to take me right into Step 1. And you'll see that here, Step 1, Step 2, and even going on to the next slide, Step 3, 4, and 5 are the exact same things that we just saw on the previous few slides of what it takes to just install the actual LintAlert itself. So nothing new right there. Just again, the visual instructions are actually embedded in the app to make it easier for technicians in the field. From there, we are going to get to the next screen, and that's where it's going to ask us to connect the Wi-Fi part of the product. So now we're actually hooking up the LintAlert to the home's Wi-Fi, and I'll go through that process with you here on the screen. So on the left-hand side of our device, and you can almost see the 45-degree angle shot, there are two new buttons that we've included, and on those buttons, they have a little bit of a shape feature to them. The bottom button has a circle feature, and the top button is more of a square feature. So as we look at the instructions on the left, it says press the circle reset button and let go. Press and hold the square configuration button for more than 3 seconds. So I'm just holding in the bottom button for a second, holding in the top button for 3 seconds, and then letting go. In that 4-second process, what the LintAlert is actually doing is broadcasting its own Wi-Fi signal called LintAlert Web. And then from there, you go to your phone settings, open up the Wi-Fi addresses, and then you will see that new Wi-Fi link became available called LintAlert Web. It is an unsecure network, meaning there is no password to connect it to it. That's why you see security recommendation under there. The one thing I do want to point out is once you go to connect that phone to LintAlert Web, you want to wait for that LTE or for that 4G or 3G icon. You see a red arrow pointing to that now. You want to wait for that to convert over to that Wi-Fi array. And that could take anywhere between maybe 15 seconds up to about a minute or so, depending on that house's Wi-Fi connectivity. But it always is a pretty smooth process, and you'll see that transfer over automatically. And as soon as that does take place, as the instructions indicate on the left, it says the app will automatically advance when you're connected. So as it automatically advances, the next thing we'll see here, like you would see at your own house when you connect to a new Wi-Fi password, or a new Wi-Fi address, I should say, is it gives you the chance to say, okay, now that we've connected to LintAlert, now that we've connected to the LintAlert, we want that LintAlert to know that it's got to be part of this house. So in my house, it would have been part of Cliff Budnick's Wi-Fi, for example. So we'd actually see a drop-down list of all the different home Wi-Fi addresses there are, SSIDs, and then we're selecting it. That customer then puts in his or her password, again, no different than any other smart home setup process. And once that password for their Wi-Fi is entered and secure, we're hitting commit. The three screenshots we see now happen fluidly. You're not pressing or doing anything. It's just to show you the process of what's taking place. So we've now told the LintAlert to be part of this particular home's Wi-Fi. It's verifying that that password is correct, and now it's saying, hey, we're good. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're calibrated and get this thing over with, and we'll hit done. At most, I think the Wi-Fi setup process will be no tools required. That should take you maybe 4 to 5 minutes, and again, we'll see that in a video as well. So I'm going to actually share my screen to hopefully have this run as smooth as possible for you guys, so bear with me here, and we'll try to do this a bit of an easier way as well. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this video file, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and we will watch this. It's about about 3 minutes long, and it'll walk you through that specific process as well. So what we have here is the back of an actual dryer. We ripped it apart and reconfigured it so we can actually demonstrate our LintAlert calibration and installation, along with making sure that the product syncs up with our mobile app under the Protected Pro brand. If we look at our phone, what we'll actually do within the Protected Pro app is go to Add Devices here, and you'll see a few options. Well, one thing we're going to look at today is adding a LintAlert Pro Plus. This will provide us 6 steps to actually get the device installed, most of which is the basic installation of the device itself, cleaning the duct, poking a hole in the transition duct, installing our tap fitting, tightening the tubing on the tap fitting, and trimming the tube at the bottom to make sure there's no bending or sagging. Lastly is when we want to actually integrate the Wi-Fi connectivity with our LintAlert device. And as you'll see in the app, it's asking us to press the side buttons on our LintAlert, which are located right here. You'll see a circle and a square button, and based on those instructions, we are going to press the circle once and hold the square for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, we will toggle over to our settings and connect over to our Wi-Fi
signal we just launched called LintAlert_web, just like we see here, LintAlert_web. Once we do that, you'll see a check mark appear next to LintAlert_web, and what we want to make sure is that this little LTE icon actually converts over to the Wi-Fi visual array, at which point that lets us know that our LintAlert actually was now communicating on a Wi-Fi platform with this phone. Once we see that Wi-Fi array, the app will automatically advance and take us into the next step of the Wi-Fi connection. And I'll go ahead and toggle over to the app so we can actually see that take place as well as soon as that does connect from LTE over to Wi-Fi. Once it's done that, we want to go and take a look at the local SSIDs or local network names that you see available. In our office, we have this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and now enter our network's password. Once you've entered your password, leave all the prompts as is and go ahead and press commit. Once you hit commit, the app will automatically advance and toggle over, and even if you look inside the LintAlert array, you'll start to see some visual changes here, and eventually it will go from a yellow light into a steady green light, which is what we're looking for within the unit, and you'll see that appear in just a moment as well. The screen is now telling us that it is verifying the connection. Inside our LintAlert here, if you can actually see inside there, there's a little green LED now, which is perfect, and the device itself, our app is asking us now to calibrate the LintAlert itself. So pardon the noise, we're actually going to turn the dryer on. Now we can see some added pressure in our system. We have about 0.40 water column inches of pressure, and I'm going to go ahead and calibrate now our LintAlert to 0.40 water column inches. Holding the button in for about 7 seconds, the lights will illuminate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and letting go, you will see the diagnostic pressure check of 3 LEDs blinking. Back on our app, it will automatically advance from calibration. It is now telling us we are done. And just to confirm that we're all set, we see that the dryer is on, and I'm going to click on this device, and now we actually will have a magma helix gauge readout of this specific unit. We have 0.411 water column inches on our app, and if you toggle back down over here, we have the exact same thing. It's telling us that this LintAlert is all set and ready for that customer.
All right, so hopefully that played smooth enough on your end, guys. Let me hop back here and get back to the webinar. All right, excellent. So cruising along here, hopefully that gives you guys an understanding of what the process is to actually connect the LintAlert to the house, make sure that we're calibrating it to that specific pressure level, and then from that point forward, we can connect it to Wi-Fi in just about a couple-minute process. One thing I do want to point out that was a nice improvement for our product is over the years, a lot of folks have asked us, hey, Cliff, can we actually take our LintAlert and use it as a diagnostic tool? In other words, can I get to a house, not clean the duct out, connect this device up, and have the LintAlert tell us how blocked the system actually is? And for the last 7 years, I've unfortunately answered no to that question. Having said that, we can answer yes moving forward. So in that last video, we saw when I held that button down, to calibrate it, we saw 3 LEDs blink 5 times at us, and then after that, it just reverted to 1 green light. So a big effort in improving the product is making sure that whatever visual information the hardware itself is showing, it can only mean one thing. So it really helps us identify exactly where we're at in any given process. So once we saw that happen, we realized that the LintAlert logo was off, like you see on our screen here, and the green LEDs blinked at us 3 times. And that tells us that a recent calibration was found, recent calibration took place, and there was between 0.4 and 0.6 water column inches of pressure. And that was true. We had 0.411 water column inches of pressure in that. So that's an awesome feature that we can actually use in the sales process to do both before and after readings, literally using our LintAlert now as a diagnostic tool and adding some value to that job as well. Not just is it important to have unique audio and unique visuals for the dryer itself, but we actually have a different set of audio and visual reminders should a leak actually be detected in that system as well. So it's a different audio chime and a different visual coding that you'll see there. And beyond that, the messages that go out to your businesses and or your customers, should a leak be detected, are also unique as well. The leak sensor is a very easy plug-in process. If you've ever plugged in an audio headset before, then you've already installed a leak sensor before. It's literally an audio jack plug-in that goes in the bottom or the butt of that LintAlert, and just as a 6-foot long cable from there that gets adhered to the bottom of the washing machine right on the floor. So connecting the leak sensor to our LintAlert, if it takes you more than 5 seconds, we're doing something extremely wrong here, guys. So easy to connect and easy to see and hear a different visual as well from the leak being detected. Once we've actually hooked up the device and we're in Wi-Fi land, there's a lot of rich features that I want to spend some time with you guys on within the app here. And these features are going to be items that are going to be strong for your business and optimizing your repeat service model, and equally really cool things to kind of share with your customers and making sure that they can capture the real value out of these devices as well. So starting with on the left-hand side of the screen, we're going to talk about naming each device and why naming a device is pretty cool and important. Every time you install a LintAlert, it will have a generic name. It'll actually be simply called LintAlert Pro Plus right there in the name field. So again, if you have 2,000 of these and one of them goes off, you're going to get an email that says the LintAlert Pro Plus sounded the alarm. Now, with the information we have, you could back it out and then find out who specifically had that LintAlert. But what I like to do is name that LintAlert. And by doing that, as soon as I get this email or that text message come through, it creates a call to action with no guesswork. I now know who's got the product, what the problem is, and what my company needs to do to fix it. So I would name my devices Cliff Budnick's LintAlert Pro Plus. Or if I sell it to a multifamily, and I might name this device Building 2 Unit 13 LintAlert. So now I'm able to see exactly who's got that product, what the problem is, and I'm making the scheduled appointment right away by naming that device as well. On the right-hand side of our screen, guys, we have a notes section, again, embedded within the app as part of the LintAlert. And over the years, I have a good understanding of businesses and how they try to optimize and capture information about every service job they're on. And taking that information and making it useful to optimize your repeat visit is really important. Why do I say that? Maybe you can avoid sending a 2-man crew out when you can only need a 1-man crew to clean a 5-foot duct run on a first floor, exhausting on the first floor. Whereas if you're dealing with a 30-foot property, a 3-story property, and it's a tough-to-move dryer, now you know you need the ladder and a 2-man crew. So the more data that we actually capture on each job, the more optimized we can set up our processes to get that system re-cleaned in the future. And within our notes section, there's a variety of things that are all drop-down menus, all very user-friendly for the technician. And here we can actually identify anything and everything you want to know about the dryer, from run length to how many elbows, where did it exhaust, was it an easy-to-access or tough-to-access dryer. For those of you involved in the appliance world, you can capture all the appliance information, year, make, model, serial number. You can actually identify what type of transition duct they have. And on the bottom right there, 2 really important features. One is that you can actually manually write any notes, so if there's anything unique about the job, anything that you want to capture there that's pretty neat, go ahead and write it in the notes section there. Most importantly, above all this feature sets that lives within the notes, is the ability to upload photos of every job and have those photos live in that customer portal. So when I get to a service job, I always take before, during, and after photographs. All of them get uploaded to each individual customer. This is shared information with your customer. It is a transparent file. There are no secrets here. So as information gets uploaded, your customers see it there, and it's a validation tool as well to know that you've done the job right, you've left it code compliant, and as you go on to the next job, you have the ability to rest assured that there is a concrete backbone of data that says, hey, I did this job and I did it right, and here's how I can prove it. Moving along, we want to make sure that not only is the product amazing for your business to optimize front-end sales and repeat jobs, but we also want to know that we can capture some great information to share and give to customers too. Surprisingly, the thing that's resonated the most with our customers that we've encountered firsthand is the simple feature that this product lets you know when your laundry is done. I've got a 15-month-old son right now. We live in a 2-story condo, my wife and I. We're doing laundry more than I've ever thought was physically possible. And in the busy lives that we lead, to get a text message to go right to our phone that says, Cliff, your LintAlert Pro Plus detected your laundry is done, it's kind of cool. We love it. We get a quick little smile out of it, and it keeps our days going, and we can keep our dryer cycles as optimized as possible. And I've even heard really unique case studies from other customers around the country on how this one feature is pretty cool. For example, there's a couple that went out a couple months ago to the movies, and they gave their kids a laundry list of chores to do, including take care of the laundry when we're out a date night. Well, halfway through the movie, they got a text message that said their laundry was done, and it kind of gave the warm and fuzzy feeling to the parents knowing their kids were doing what they were supposed to do. And that's cool because it's on a one-to-one basis, and it kind of creates a cool case study. But think about the context of that from the ability for data to be sent directly to somebody that manages that property. So that opens up the picture of property management groups and HOAs and condos and all these different multifamily groups, old age homes and nursing homes, hair salons, all of these commercial applications, gyms that really are going through laundry cycles over and over and over again. And for them to kind of tap into these KPIs or these performance indicators and know if and when somebody's actually at a property, at a vacation rental, for example, are they using the dryer? How often are they? Should they even be there? And then you can capture information such as average and maximum cycle time. We're creating graphical formats that you can access by the click of a button right there in your mobile app. You can actually see cycle times going up over time, estimated costs. Tapping into the kilowatt hours of usage in your dryer is a really impactful thing. The value that that data provides is really simple, and I can give it to you in one basic pitch. I know Ross with one of our companies is on the phone right now, and I can say to you, Ross, it's been 12 months since we've been at your house to do your dryer vents. When can I come out to schedule that annual cleaning? And I'd almost bet that Ross would say, hey, Cliff, really nice call, appreciate the follow-up, but I think I'm good. Why don't you call me back in 6 months or a year? But in that same conversation, what if I used data that was really valid, shared and transparent with that customer, and I called Ross and I said, hey, Ross, it's been 12 months since we cleaned out your dryer vent last. At the time, you were averaging about a 33-minute cycle. Today, your average cycle is about 51 minutes. Even some of your max cycles are well over an hour. Well, based on that information and the kilowatt hours you're using now, I know that our repeat cleaning can actually save you real money right out of the gates. So we want to go ahead and schedule you for a service because you're already running your appliance at about $150 a year. Our services alone are about $120. So we want to go ahead and take advantage of that and make this as optimized as possible. Let's go ahead and schedule it. All that information is shared, it's transparent, and it's valid about what's going on with that customer's information and their dryer. So it's a great way, it's a great tool to engage that repeat visit call and get out there. And again, those automatic alerts, when do they take place? If a vent is blocked, maybe if a leak is detected, if the laundry's done, and more as well. Other consumer benefits, we created a rules engine. We didn't invent it, we just parlayed it through our app, and it's based on what's called IFT, I-F-T-T, if this, then that. And we're literally filling in the blanks in that sentence. So there's a couple examples here. If my office LintAlert Pro Plus detects my laundry is done, then what do we want it to do? Notify my phone. We can set these rules. Customers can set these rules for themselves and engage or disengage this app at the click of a fingertip. Setting a rule takes maybe 5 seconds, and it's really simple to do. What that also does, it gives them the ability to engage or disengage the feature sets within there as well, and it just reaffirms them that this is the go-to solution, the only smart home solution to protect that entire laundry room as well. Covering some proven sales techniques, kind of when the rubber hits the road here, guys. This is true not just for our LintAlert, but honestly for any other product or widget that you offer your customers, whether it's air duct, dryer vent cleaning, carpet, mold, doesn't make a difference. When a product is inside the home, in the hands of the customer, it becomes a real tangible sale as opposed to a flyer or a verbal pitch. Look down at the shoes you're wearing. Take a look at the shirt that's on your back right now, or the car that's in the driveway. The reason you purchased those shoes or that shirt or that car, it wasn't because you thought it was cool when you had your eyes closed. It was because you had a chance to see it, touch it, feel it, drive it for that example, realize it was good for you, realize it was what you wanted, and you made an educated and informed decision. That's why you like the shoes you have or the shirt that's on your back. no different than a LintAlert sale to your customers. If you bring it in the house, introduce it to them firsthand, they're going to capture the value of the product, they're going to get excited about it, and it makes your sales process far easier. You're no longer having to go back to the truck to grab it or to sell them on a product and then have to go back to the warehouse to pick one up and then waste your time in going back. If you've got 4 scheduled jobs on the day, keep 4 LintAlerts on the truck and put 4 LintAlerts in each of those customers' hands. Make sure it's tangible in their hands. You'll be amazed on the results from that alone. Consider using this as a professional diagnostic tool, and I'll walk you through an example of what I personally do in the sales process in a moment or two here. But right there within the app, you guys are all HVAC professionals. You see that we're providing you literally a magnehelic gauge and a digital manometer, 2 HVAC tools that collectively add up to over $200 are within this one device already. The concept of memberships or selling a future discount is no secret to the service model, and it's very applicable to the LintAlert. So if I offered you a dryer vent cleaning, and again, I'll use very rough numbers here. If I said my dryer vent cleaning is $150 and I want to sell you a LintAlert for $200, so now we're at $350. Well, every time I go back in the world of a membership model, we're going to knock off 15% of your dryer ducts because you bought into our LintAlert program. And then, of course, as kind of a part of that model is the premise of bundling. In the world of sales, perception is often reality, so we want customers to believe that they're getting the best deal possible. Create that bundle package where your a la carte items add up to more, but if they get them all at the same time, it adds up to be less, and the saving is real. Other things that I'm a big fan of in the sales process, guys, dryer vent cleaning, it's very out of sight, out of mind. It's a hidden danger. It's the stuff that accumulates behind the walls. Don't be shy about that. Be proud about all the stuff and all that crap that you're pulling out of the dryer. Call the customer over and kind of walk them through the process of what you're doing and what you're accomplishing to make their home better, safer, more efficient. I love bragging about gallons and gallons of lint pouring out of these homes and calling the customer over to say, hey, this is what's going on behind the drywall. Lint's making it past the lint screen and collecting throughout your duct run, making it less and less efficient over time. For you to have a good visualization of what's going on, we can install this LintAlert, and it'll give you that firsthand experience of every time that there's an increase in pressure. On the bottom, of course, we continue to reference that magnehelic gauge as it's very common in our industry to use this type of a back pressure sensing device for diagnostic readings and after cleaning readings as well for dryer venting. When you open up the appliance manuals, they don't talk about airflow velocity, but what they always mention is what back pressure level is safe for those appliances to vent appropriately. So in this screen, guys, I wanted to walk you through what I do, and it's a bit of a unique process. But today's day and age, salesmen, individuals, just humans in general are becoming more tech savvy. And one of the coolest features that our friends at Google and our friends at Apple let us do now is take your smartphone and create a mobile hotspot. So I can actually take my phone and broadcast a Wi-Fi signal just from my phone alone. So what I actually do is I keep a LintAlert on my service truck, and I connect that LintAlert to my personal phone's Wi-Fi. And what I do then is when I get to a new house, to a new customer's job, I turn on my mobile hotspot, so my Wi-Fi is now broadcasting, and I take my already connected LintAlert and I plug it in. I actually tap it into a customer's dryer duct system. And by tapping into that dryer duct, I open up my phone and I'm already capturing real-time readings of what's going on in that customer's home. While this is happening, I'm kind of discussing with them the back pressure readings I'm seeing. I'm going over the visual information that I saw. I can see if it went through the roof or through the wall vent. I can see what the transition duct looks like or if there's a lot of lint behind the system. But we've all been in laundry rooms and we've all talked to customers, and it's kind of annoying to talk over the sound of a working dryer, a dryer that's on. So I intentionally turn that dryer off about halfway through that conversation. And what happens? I know that my phone's about to send a pop-up notification that says, Cliff, your LintAlert detected, your dryer's done. So the customer, even though they're being educated on the process and informed about what's going on in their house, they're actually being soft-pitched or introduced to the value of the product because I turn the dryer off and they see the coolest feature, that it lets them know that this product will alert them when the dryer's off. So a very subtle way to actually demonstrate the product firsthand while still positioning it as a professional tool as well for diagnostic readings. So every time I've done that, or the vast majority of times I've demoed the product firsthand, connecting it to my phone, those customers jump on the opportunity. They're like, oh man, that's awesome. How much is this? Can you install one for us today? And in that case, I'd go back to the truck, I grab a brand new unit out of the box, and now I just go through the basic install and Wi-Fi connection process with that customer. They get to keep their own LintAlert. I take mine back, and I go to bring it to the next shop to sell my next new LintAlert as well. So it's a bit of a unique process, but taking my phone as a mobile hotspot and keeping a LintAlert that's always connected to my phone with me as my sales device has had tremendous success. So something I'd certainly recommend for you guys as well. Another part of the reason why that process works so good is because I've got my phone out in my hands, and I can actually show them my LintAlert or other devices I've got in my house, and I can get personal with them, because as a salesman, you always have a bit more of a trust or rapport when you can actually truthfully say, hey, this is something that I have in my house. This is why I love it. This is why my wife or my family loves it, and the benefits we get. So the more case studies you have and the more stories about how these products have benefited your lives or saved you money or made you run things more efficiently or safely, that's real value in the process. So when I go through my stories, I literally take out my phone and say, here's what I've got in my house, and I can see my dryer cycle times go up. I can see if there's an issue with any of the other sensors I have there. And again, it creates that personal trust. It adds value to the product line as well. Coming soon as far as continued feature sets as we continue to take advantage of the smart home product that we're launching here, we want to kind of create some nice sales challenges on a national level and even down to regional levels as well. With this, both us as a parent company working with service companies nationwide or your own service company with your network of technicians can create different sales challenges. And technicians themselves will actually be kind of part of your family or your tree, if you can envision that, of devices. So if I've got 10 technicians in a company, each of these technicians will be actually given digital coins or points. So if I had a technician that installed 5 LintAlerts in a month, he or she gets 5 points. And the more points they have, the more spiffs we can provide. And that actually lets us do a lot of things. We can learn easily to see who our top sales technicians are and incentivize them, spiff them. We can learn from what makes them great. In turn, we can also see who our slowest moving guys are, and we can get education over to them to make them become stronger folks. And there's always a good degree of motivation that takes place through internal competitions. So using just the ability for our IT and our systems to incentivize sales just by identifying who that technician is that installed it and giving them digital rewards right out of the gates lets us see exactly who is making the biggest impact and who we can make a better salesman as well. To support you guys in this process, it's not just this webinar and then we're going to hang up, say good luck, go get them. We want to continue to be a big resource for you in a variety of ways. So there's technical support number. It rings to our office. It rings to a lot of our cell phones after hours. That's the first line of defense. So if you are in the field or your technicians are in the field, they should not have a question about the product and contact the owner or manager. That's where we want to step in. If there's an issue in the field, use that tech support number. Talk to one of us, and 99 times out of 100, we're going to work with your technician in just a couple minutes, figure out what's going on, get that product calibrated and connected onto the next job. Going beyond that, this is a product that's not in your Lowe's or your Home Depots or your Menards or on Amazon. This is truly an exclusive product from service companies out to your network of trusted customers. And there's tremendous value in that. So when they go to look for this product online, if they're a savvy customer, they're not going to find it online anywhere. And if they do stumble across our business-to-consumer website, it's going to be sold on our website for a very inflated price point of $200 plus, meaning you guys can sell this thing installed at the same price point and walk away a tremendous hero. And it just kind of creates that model of championing your services in conjunction with this product. So wrapping things up, and I know I've taken a chunk of your morning, everybody. Really appreciate that time, too. LintAlert Pro Plus, what the heck is this thing? It is the only smart home solution that offers total laundry room protection. We've got dryer fires as a very real issue, and even more top of mind for customers are washing machine floods. This is the one device that will be able to connect to that house and give all that data that's possible out there. So we are progressively monitoring the efficiencies in those leaks. This should be a no tools required installation for both the leak sensor and the dryer safety component of it. The only time you might need a tool is if you're actually ducting into hard, rigid pipe as the transition duct. But again, not a big deal. Very easy to kind of create that puncture in there. Protected Pro is our mobile app. If you haven't done so yet, I highly encourage you guys to download that app today. Take advantage of some of these products, work with our sales staff to get you guys stocked up and ready to go, and put one in your house, put one in your neighbor's house or your family's house. Go through that process internally firsthand. It's like tying a shoe. The more times you tie that shoe, the easier and easier it's going to be. Eventually you can do it blindfolded, and that's the same experience we've all found with our new LintAlert in the process of connecting it to the house and then linking it to Wi-Fi through Protected Pro. The app is gut-loaded with tons of features. Get lost in there. Have some fun with it. It's really cool to see the cause and effect relationship with changing pressures in the duct and getting a message on your phone, or turning your laundry off and then seeing that your phone just told you that your laundry's done. And last but not least, guys, we at Innovate, we really try to be as much of a support model for you as possible, from sales training to marketing support, whatever it can be. We want to be here to help you succeed, not just with the LintAlert, but with our full scope of products. So having said all that, let me kind of take a bunch of you off mute here, and we can see if there's any lingering questions and go from there. All right, while I'm doing that, any pending questions you guys might have for right now?
Cliff, just one quick question.
There's one I thought of there. It's nothing to do with this install or the product. I saw your brochure on this Jake from Martin Appliance. I was wondering if you could have someone, you have the creative assets that someone could actually put that whole thing in a format for an email blast.
Oh,
yeah, Jake,
yeah.
I'll make a note of that right now, but that's certainly doable.
Because then what we'll do is we have our customer email, and the neat part is most people that will have an Android or Apple device will have email. Some of them may not have the device, but that way you're actually targeting the people that have electronics at this point too.
Yeah, no, great idea, Jake. We'll make a little asset file and we'll send that out today.
We should have a whole alert page.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, picture of them. Both of them are.
And just like all our government customers.
Any other questions from the audience here today, guys?
No, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cliff, do you hear me?
Somebody's in the distance there, but I think I heard Cliff. Did you hear me?
Yes. It's Cliff. It's John Smith from VCS. Is there any limitation on commercial dryers?
So the question was, is there any limitation on commercial dryers? And that's a challenging question, but I will be very specific with you. Our product is designed specifically for the residential dryer venting pressures, not necessarily residential dryers, but dryer venting pressures that traditionally range between 0.15 to 0.85 or so. So depending on the term or how we define commercial dryers, the answer may be yes and maybe no. My suggestion is using the owner's manual. That'll give you an idea of where that pressure threshold is at, or if it's a high output dryer, and that should give us the green light. As long as another component to that question is if it's a commercial dryer that vents individually, it's a much better likelihood that the answer is yes. Obviously, if it's a shared exhaust system in a commercial application, then the answer would be no.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Other questions, guys? I do see a question that came in from Bob online. It says, can more than one phone be connected to a single LintAlert Pro Plus? I'm glad you brought that up, Bob. So one of the neat features within Protected Pro is a feature set called Friends, and I'll use the term friends loosely. Consider friends more of a trusted circle or a trusted network of individuals. And Bob, if you and I are neighbors or personally friends, and I wanted you to have insight or access to my LintAlert, I can have both phones have Protected Pro open, and they would literally scan each other, become friends with each other, and that way other phones can become part of that same device and become part of that specific widget's network of trusted individuals. So in short answer, Bob, yes, more than one phone can be connected to a single LintAlert. All right, cool. Any other questions, guys? All right, it sounds like that should do it on the questions. Just to recap,
I have I've got one just out of curiosity. I have a potential client. It's a hospital, but they have 4 residential dryers. But because they're a hospital, they already have to be inspected and likely swept every 6 months.
Okay.
If I'm already doing that, you know, would there really be, how much of a benefit would they get from this? Other than
Good question.
the obvious, you know,
Yeah, so good question, Eric. First and foremost, I love the business model of guaranteed repeat service, whether it's 6 months or annually. That's still a tremendous avenue to approach. I would not suggest selling LintAlerts and getting away from that model. So that's first and foremost. But the real question is, how does our LintAlert support that model to continue selling it to that type of a customer? And the way I've always phrased it here is, yes, our product will let you know when the system needs to be cleaned, but more importantly, in your example here, Eric, it'll also let that customer know of any what I'll call sudden change took place that might be unaccounted for within that 6-month waiting period. You can clean that dryer vent out today and does not stop a bird or rodent from building a nest in a week and a half from now, or it doesn't stop, frozen, depending on where you are in the country. Up north, you might have a frozen termination hood that would be blocking a gas dryer vent line. That's pretty dangerous as well. So the way I'd phrase that is, it does help detect any sudden change, and it will still let them know all the data being captured to further validate the need for that repeat cleaning as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Great question, though.
I guess I didn't.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Well, if that does wrap it up, on the screen is our contact information for phone number and our email addresses. Our staff here is more than happy to get you guys on board. I know some of the folks on this webinar have had a couple units in stock, and other ones are starting to get geared up or consider it. So we are an open resource. Any questions you have, we want to be here for you. So do feel free to give us a call and let us know how we can help you out. But appreciate the time, and I'm going to conclude this webinar now. Thanks so much, everybody.